Throughout the semester, I'll do a few instructional videos in the lessons, and then we'll take time in class to reiterate the problems that we'll address with finance and other items. But in this video, we're going to address how to take a present value and find a future value using compounding. Remember, if you're trying to take a future value and find a present value, that is discounting. But when we're going from present to future, that is compounding. So the first thing I want you to do in Excel is set up a template like this. So this will be our title here. And let's just go ahead and change this slightly so that it just makes sense. We have a title. We're going to input our present value. We're going to input a future value. We're going to input an annual interest rate. Usually interest rates are given to you in an annual form. And so sometimes when the compounding is not in an annual basis, so it's not compounding annually, we're going to have to convert it. Interest is described as annual interest rate or periodic. When we've converted it, it's periodic. Otherwise, if it's not converted, it's going to be in an annual form. Then we have years, the duration, which is expressed as N. So let's put N here. Let's make sure we hit enter. And then we have compounding periods per year, which will be, let's change this, compounding periods per year, comment for N, per N. So that's going to be how many compounding periods we have in a year times how many years we have. That'll be the culmination. For example, if we have a 30-year mortgage and we're compounding monthly, that would be 30 years times 12. Okay, and so that's what the compounding periods per N would be. Okay, and then we're going to be figuring for present value and future value. The first thing I want to do, and I want you to make a habit of this as we work in Excel, is cells that you're inputting data, we're going to make blue. So, for example, these first three, we're going to make blue font. Okay, and you'll see how that works in just a second. Compounding period, we're also going to make blue. Periodic is not. That's going to be a calculation, so we're going to leave that font black. Years, we're going to make blue. Compounding periods, that's going to be a calculation, so we'll leave black. Present value will be a calculation, and future value will be a calculation, so we're going to leave those black. We need to make sure. So let's do this. Let's do an example. So say we have $18,500 right now that we want to put in a savings account. That savings account is going to be compounded at 4% annually, okay? And we're going to have that money in the bank account for 10 years, so N. So this is how we're going to do that. We're going to put 18,500 here, okay? And what I'd like you to do is do 18,000 but without the two decimal places, okay? So hit the money sign up here and then get rid of the decimal places. We're not going to do anything with future value because we don't have that. We're looking for it, so we're going to put that down here. So not applicable. Annual interest rate is 4% right now. Okay, so we have that. Our compounding period is 1 per year. Okay, so let's put just compounded annually. That way we just remember our periodic interest. So we're going to do this. Okay, and we can absolute reference that for PC users. I think that's F4. I'll confirm that. But for Mac users, that's Command T. That's how you absolute reference. And if you don't remember those quick shortcuts, you can always just type in the $ before and after the column and row there. And then we're going to go times that. and that will be our periodic interest. And if we were compounding monthly, that would be 4 times 12 is 48, or sorry, divided. So in this case, we're going to do divide. My mistake. So divide, because we're going to take that annual interest rate and chunk it up into monthly rate. So it would be divide situation there. The amount of years we have is 10. We're going 10 years. Remember, that's blue. That's an input. And our compounding periods, again, is we're going to take this. But instead of divide, we are going to multiply this time. Okay, so by 1. We could absolute reference if we're going to copy. We're not going to worry about that. Present value, we're not finding because we have present value already. We're not finding present value. We're trying to find future value. So this is where we're going to do a future value calculation. So equals, or function, so future value function. So equals FV. And then once we hit that paren, so the one of 2 parentheses, so the paren, we're going to now use this to figure our calculation. So we're going to go off of the black. So our rate is 4. Our periods are 10. We aren't doing payments right now. We're just talking about a present value that's going to accrue interest over a period of time. We're not going to add any money, so we're not going to worry about payments. And we can just hit a second comma, and it's going to skip the payment. Our present value is here. Okay, and we can actually add a negative right there, because when you're dealing with present value and future value, one of the numbers, either the present value or the future value, has to be negative in the calculation, even though in reality it's not negative. Or you could think of it as we're putting money in the bank, so we're giving it away to the bank, which it's negative coming out of our pocket. But in the future, it's going to be a positive. But just to know that because of the way the math works, that one of the numbers has to be negative in order to get the right number. Okay, and we're just going to put 0, or you could disregard that last type if you wanted. 0 just means it doesn't mean anything, and we're going to hit enter. And that is how we find the future value of a present value. And let's go ahead and just change this to green so we know that that's our answer.